Hi everybody, it's Rob, and as you can see, the game we're going to do today is Donkey Kong 3 on the Nintendo Entertainment System, but it was also an arcade game. In fact, someone would say it was originally an arcade game. And I meant today's pick to be a little bit ironic because I know there's lots of talk lately about Let's Plays and monetization, and we all know that Nintendo got involved earlier this year. And although they may not be the reason behind the recent string of, claims and so forth, because it's coming from all sorts of crazy places, I thought, you know what, I'm going to pick a Nintendo-based game today that Nintendo doesn't really seem to care about anymore. And I think Donkey Kong 3 would certainly qualify in that category, because look at this game. It's like a shooter. Wait, I'm going to get rid of him quick in this level. This is like a shooter game. And if you think about like Donkey Kong the original and then Donkey Kong Jr., those are very platform-based games. And of course on into Donkey Kong Country. But Donkey Kong 3 was like more of a shooter game. In fact, I think some of this was supposed to be inspired by one of their older shooter games from way back when, but I don't really see the resemblance whatever. This game is just kind of out there a little bit, and I think that's why it's not remembered very well. You'll notice there's no Mario. Common mistake I know I've heard is that people assume that the guy carrying the little bug zapper here is Mario, but it's not. His name is actually Stanley, and you probably would know that because he's barely showed up anywhere else in Nintendo's archives. Ooh, and he just got killed by a piece of bug there, because I'm sloppy. But, yeah, he doesn't really show up a lot of other Nintendo places. There's no Mario here, there's no Pauline. It's just Stanley zapping Donkey Kong, who broke into his greenhouse for whatever reason. I guess monkeys do that sometimes. Yeah, so Stanley, you don't really see him a lot of other places. He is in Smash Brothers. You see him as like a trophy. But, I mean, that's just because those games are like a crazy amount of archive of Nintendo's past. Otherwise, I mean, Donkey Kong 3 is almost forgotten by Nintendo. Now, there was a Virtual Console release as well, worth saying, but it was like 2008. It was not one of the first games they released, and I don't even remember this being one of the games that was in Animal Crossing, which an awful lot of Nintendo's archive was in there. So, what is it about this game that made a lot of people forget about it? I don't know, probably the fact that it was a shooter. It was very different, and I don't think maybe had the same characters or what have you, like with Mario, and the same kind of level design that people really loved about the old Donkey Kong games. There's no pie factory in Donkey Kong 3. You'll notice there's 3 stages that cycle through. There's this one, there's that main board, and then there's that reddish board. That's it, and they're all kind of the same. They're all the greenhouse layout with the stuff along the bottom. You don't have like the pie factory like you have in Donkey Kong, or the cool little spring stuff in Donkey Kong Jr. Like it's just different, and so I think for that reason this game didn't really resonate with a lot of people, even though, hey, it's a shooter and some more people might be into that, even though I just got shot myself. Now, even though it might sound like I'm talking bad about the game, I'm actually not. I actually used to really love this game growing up, and of all places, the place that had this video game that I remember, I just got stung in the face. So it happens when I play and talk at the same time. The place that had this that I remember was the grocery store. And I don't know if grocery stores in your neck of the woods have video games. Mine sure don't anymore. But they did back in the mid-'80s, and Donkey Kong 3 was one of the 2 cabinets they had at the grocery store. I certainly don't see video games in grocery stores anymore. I see slot machines in grocery stores in Reno, but nothing like what you used to see back in the mid-'80s when, you'd have, Mortal Kombat 2 at 7-Eleven and things like that. But yeah, they had a Donkey Kong 3 machine, so I remember my mom would go shopping, and if I had, 50 cents, I'd play me some Donkey Kong 3, because I thought this game was pretty awesome. It did look a little better in the arcade than the Nintendo version, which, of course, you're going to lose some quality when you go from arcade to the home version. But it was pretty darn close, which when you consider the last generation, before we had Nintendos in our homes, you had the Atari 2600 and that abysmal Pac-Man port. Damn, I think that was it. You had that abysmal Pac-Man port. Getting to see an arcade port like this, and granted, Nintendo made Donkey Kong 3, and then they made the home version of Donkey Kong 3. Seeing it really darn close was pretty awesome. It really was feeling the arcade experience at home. So, yeah, again, you play Stanley. He's trying to zap. He's shooting smoke up Donkey Kong's ass to get him out of the greenhouse. Literally blowing smoke up his ass. Go away, shoo, shoo. and you're trying to dodge these bugs that want to sting you and prevent that from happening for whatever reason. And then those little snake guys are very annoying too. You'll notice if I shoot them, they freeze. So I don't want to shoot them all right under Donkey Kong, or it makes them impossible to shoot. You'll notice I kind of can blow through these levels real quick if I'm just kind of button mash. There are those flower pots at the bottom of the screen. Those are your bonus. And if you can shoot... Oh, I'm still on the... Look, I just like blew right through that level. Of course, I still had the super power up, so as long as you stay in the center and keep shooting, you can do pretty well. You'll see those flower pots are part of the bonuses, and there's bugs that come through, and they try to take those flower pots away, so they're taking your bonus away. This stage is a little harder because I can't just jump right to the middle, so... That bug, when he explodes into pieces, so you gotta be careful not to move left or right when you kill him. So now it gets a little more challenging because I can't just simply run right up the middle. And now the screen is getting full with guys. Let's see if I can get past it. I might just have to... Yeah, that one's a loss. Oh, well. Wow, I, like, walked right on them. You can't jump on them like Mario could, like, jump on enemies. Can't do that. Alright, at least you get the little super bug zapper, or... What was it called? Like DDT spray or something. I think of the arcade, it was actually written there. But it looks like that will show up again after you die. To give you a little help getting past the level. Uh-oh, I've only got 2 flower pots left. There we go. Get out. Get out of my greenhouse. Don't ever come back. So the home version of this really just had A and B modes for regular and more difficult, and then it was 1 and 2 player. A lot of the earlier Nintendo games, this was released in '86, so the NES was still very new in America. A lot of the early Nintendo games were like that. You had your A and B mode. Think about Duck Hunt. Even things like Clue Clue Land or Donkey Kong Jr. Math were kind of all set up basically the same, which is why there were so many Nintendo games at launch back in the day. But yeah, you're getting the gist of it. Here it is, Donkey Kong 3. More of a shooter than a platformer, but a game I remember from my childhood dropping a few quarters into and having fun with it because it was just so different and weird. And obviously I'm a lot better at this than I am at Donkey Kong or Donkey Kong Jr., which took a little more precision and so forth. So curious what you guys think. Do you guys remember Donkey Kong 3? Did you guys play this game? What do you think about this one? Is this a game that Nintendo should show a little more respect to, or is it maybe a little more better left forgotten? Let me know in the comments. Rate, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And don't forget to check out my other projects, both available at vognetwork.com. There's the Orange Launch Radio podcast, where every gamer has a voice, Sunday nights, and Horde House, the show about all things online gaming, but never too seriously, Wednesday nights. So have fun gaming. Thanks for watching the video the whole way through, and have a great time. Bye, everybody.